Alright, hello everybody and welcome back. We are actually in round two, because I got a buy in round one. Lucky me, right? We're gonna keep this hand. This hand is actually very, very good. So we have a one drop into Springleaf Drum into a couple draw cards, a big dude, and a Prophetic Prism, and we're up against Goblins in round two. Alright, well, Goblins is not the best matchup game one, but that really depends on how each of us draw. That was decent. They can be way too fast, and I can be way too slow, and they could draw Sparksmith early, and just things like that. Looks like my opponent's on quite the nut draw for what I have going, but my opponent is only on one card left in hand, so hopefully that can influence a few things. I am going to need some draws off the top, though. A Frogmite would be quite ideal. I guess another one of those is not bad either. So we'll go ahead and play Flare Husk and Springly Drum, and then I'm going to Thoughtcast here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I cannot cast whatchamacallit, him yet. Okay, so next turn I'll be able to go a little ham, and I'll be able to play some big creatures. My opponent still only has one card in hand. Could be a 3-drop, could be another land. Not sure. Alright, so that was one of the best draws we could have had. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and play Quicksilver Behemoth. And then we're going to play... I'm sorry, we're playing Mirror Enforcer, then Quicksilver Behemoth. And I'm just going to say go. I'm not going to play the Prophetic Prism. I'd rather just leave up Galvanic Blast just in case. That's fine as well too. I doubt my opponent is going to attack though. Didn't think so. We drew Chromatic Star. Well, Chromatic Star doesn't actually do anything I need it to. But however, I am going to attack for 4 as I can start winning the game now. Because now I can cast Prophetic Prism and I can cast the other Quicksilver Behemoth. Hopefully we draw a Seed of the Synod or maybe a land. Maybe a Frogmite. Maybe he'll be allowed to draw a card. Alright, well, we drew a land, which is still not bad. So I can actually cast the Chromatic Star now, and I can leave up the Galvanic Blast. And my opponent's actually just dead next turn. Just in the blink of an eye, my opponent can just die. Yeah, my opponent's just dead. Just, they did mulligan to 6, so obviously their hand was not incredibly ideal, but, So we're going to bring in the Karkland Shamans, probably not bring in the Cupred. We're going to take out the Rancor, and a Tog, and a Flare Husk. Actually, not a Flare Husk, a Summer Hoverguard. Sorry about that. The reason for taking out the Rancor is you don't usually need to win on the combo finish. The reason I'm taking out a Tog is because a Tog is not actually that good. You really just need a Tog plus Fling. And Summer Hoverguard, I believe, actually is not that good. Mostly because Frogmite is a free 2/2 that blocks. Flare Husk is a 1-mana 1/1 that blocks. So we'll see how that goes for me. My opponent could bring in Gorilla Shaman, which would be a huge problem, but hopefully that is not going to be an issue. This hand is really not that good, although we do have kind of everything we need, but at the same time it's really not the best hand unless I draw something that can actually cast a red, so I'm going to mulligan. And this hand is as well not as good, but I think it's worth keeping since we have a Frogmite if we draw any land. If we draw a Springleaf Drum, it does help. Okay, well, that was one of the best draws we could have had, so... But for now, we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna go... Ooh, really? Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna slow roll the Karkland Shaman. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm tired of trying. Oh, my opponent's playing Chain Lightning, okay. I thought about playing it as a 4/4, but I figured um, just playing it out as a 2/2 would probably just leave me better. Okay, well, I've drawn enough Tree of Tales. um, I think here I can play Karkland Shaman, but I'm just gonna not do that. Hopefully he does not pay for the Mogwar Marshal, though I'm sure that he will. Yep. So that could have been a mistake to play the Carapace Forger. Probably was. I figured since my opponent passed it, what the heck is that? Okay, never seen that card before. I didn't even know that existed. Immolation. Okay. Okay, take 2. Okay, we'll do another Cavernous Forger, so that's good. So yeah, I suppose this was a mistake. But, okay. Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because my opponent kept a healthy amount of burn. And, alright. So now that my opponent is down to 1 card, ooh, okay, so I can actually do this, play this, and Thought Cast. And let's see what I draw. Alright, I drew a Chromatic Star, which is really good. And I can Thought Cast again. And we drew lands. Well, that's not good. So, I can either do this now, or I can wait to next turn to see if my opponent plays a creature to attack with, but I'm pretty sure doing this now is the way to do it. So the good thing is my opponent is going to... the problem is the Goblin Sledder kind of screws up all the math. So I think... because 1, 2, 3, 4, it can become a 6/6. So I would have to actually sack 6 permanents, which would be a huge problem. So what I can do actually is I can sack 2 artifacts and wait for my opponent to respond. So let's go ahead and do that. I am holding control, so if it doesn't work, and I'm going to draw a card first, see what my opponent does. The good thing is that since I'm doing this multiple times, there's going to be multiple instances of the ability, so the Mogwai Marshal is not going to actually be helped. Okay, so he's saving the Goblin Sledder with the token. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? Turn off auto yields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's unfortunate. Alright, so we're going to sack again. This time we'll sack the Springleaf Drum. And we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Because if he just lets it go now... Alright, I will sack another one. I'm surprised my opponent wants to keep Goblin Sledder alive. And we'll sack this Tree of Tales. See what my opponent decides to do. Alright, so this is going to so if I do this now in response, this will come into play. The biggest that this can become is a 5/5, so I'd have to sack 5 artifacts. Okay, we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Because this is going to die after this resolves, so we'll see how my opponent handles this. Okay. 4/4, so I need to actually hit it 2 more times. I think that's worth it since I have 2 more lands in my hand anyway. So we'll sack this, and we'll sack this. So I might be down to only 2 lands, but I do have a Mirror Enforcer coming in a couple of turns. Okay, strike that. I have 2 Mirror Enforcers coming in a couple of turns. My opponent could easily have a whatchamacallit, Flame Slash or something. Okay, so that's a good draw. But for now, we'll just go ahead and play Mirror Enforcer, and we'll say go. My opponent could have a Flame Slash or Smash to Smithereens, anything of that sort. So we'll see. Okay, my opponent did not. So now we can get in for 4 and then play a couple of 4/4s. And yes, I am full aware that that Carapace Forger play was a mistake. I guess I wasn't giving my opponent respect that they had a burn spell. Or it was just blatantly a mistake, and I'm willing to admit that. So we'll go ahead and play the Flare Husk first. Then we'll go ahead and play this guy. I don't know why I was thinking to tap the red or the blue for some reason. And we'll say go. From here on, it should not be that difficult to win because my opponent won't have that many chances to go wide. It really depends on what my opponent has in hand, of course. Not trying to be cocky or anything. A Tog. Okay, Tog's good. So we'll go ahead and attack with both Mirror Enforcers, and the reason for that is they're the most easiest to be removed because of Smash to Smithereens or shatter effects in general. So my opponent will take 8. We'll go ahead and play this. I'm going to leave up the Germ as an extra blocker rather than just play this for Flame to get around Flame Slash. And that's the power of the Karkland Shaman against a deck like Goblins. It's just, Wrath of God. Sometimes that's all you need. Okay, so my opponent played a Goblin Arsonist. They do have a way to sack it and deal 1 damage, so... My opponent is also dead to a Tog by itself. So maybe that is going to factor in somewhat. Another Mirror Enforcer, okay. Well, we're going to play that out just to do this in case. Or just in case some of our artifacts die. Not that it really matters, but... So we're going to attack with the Tog. I want to attack with 3 lethal creatures. Coming from a red deck, if he leaves this unblocked, he should be dead. I don't really know of a red card that can just stop a huge red creature. Hello to you too, sir. Okay, so I'm just going to let that go through. If he tries to hit my Atog to finish it off, he is not. He's hitting me. So he could have 2 burn spells in hand. If he draws a 3rd one, I'm dead. And, life just happens that way. If not, I win this turn. So we'll see. My opponent could easily have 3 burn spells between Fire Blast, Chain Lightning, and Lightning Bolt, or I don't know really anything. This card is interesting. Where is it? This card? I never even knew this card existed. I probably did, I just forgot about it. Immolation. It's an interesting card. It's kind of... So, we got the win. Pretty good. Other than the Carapace Forger play, I don't think I made any real mistakes. But I probably did, just because I'm a terrible Magic player. But, alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you for round number 3. Stay tuned.